All right, now we're moving on to part 3, which is making the king. So we're going to create a new collection, call it king. I'm also going to move this reference image back a little bit. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. Just like so. I also found out my models are just a little bit too big, so I'm going to scale these down just slightly. This one should actually be 50 millimeters in height. So I need to select the pawn and the object, just scale it down by hitting S, right about there. Then go to the rook. Rook should be about 55. Actually, the rook's about the right size, so we're good. All right, now we are on to the king. The king is going to use the model from the pawn, actually. So let's go grab this. Save really quick. Control D to duplicate, just like we did before. Move that down to king. King body. Unselect the pawn. Get rid of the Boolean again, just like we did before. Slide this over. Okay. Now the king should be about 3.75 inches tall, which is about 95 millimeters in height. All right, hit S to scale this up a little bit, make it a little bit bigger, right about there. Just tab to go into edit mode, and we will move this piece up a little bit right here. And flatten this. Select these two, expand it out a little bit. Again, we're not going to make this as sharp as a base right here just because of the nature of 3D printing. You want to have something for the layers to kind of grab a hold of as it moves up. But we can add a little sharpness to maintain a little bit of that illusion. Just like that. All right, let's build the rest of the king. Extrude, scale, extrude, extrude, scale, extrude, extrude. There we go. Let's make this nice and sharp. There we go. Pop over to here. How about that? Might want to make this a little bit smaller. Right about there. Looks good so far. Oh, that's way too big. So we'll just scale this middle piece like that. We need to make this little lip right here. So we're going to select this edge here, move it down. Scale it in a little bit. Set its crease to 1. We'll select this row right here by pressing Alt. Select the that. Hit E to extrude. Then S to scale, and we're just going to scale out and then scale this down like that. I'm just hitting S along the Z-axis to shrink it like so. Gives us a nice little lip right there. Maybe sharpen this a little. There we go. And there is our king. Now, we're going to do a little trick with the top here. Let's do the same thing we did over here. We're going to hit Add Mesh Cube. Move that cube up here. Scale it up a little bit. It's good for the middle. Scale it this way. Then press Tab to go into edit mode on the cube. We are going to extrude a little top here for it. Like so. Extrude again on the top and then scale it along this way. Just like that. Give us a little point. And we are also going to extrude the sides. E, scale out like that. Then the bottom, E to extrude, just like that. Now there's two ways to do this. We can combine these objects together, which this will definitely need a little bit of support material, or we can make this part print separately and then have them connect together afterwards. And for the sake of just making this even more complicated, I'm going to do that. So I will show you what I mean later. So one of the things in 3D printing is the orientation of your 3D prints make a big difference in the strength of your 3D prints. So I want this to be very thin. This is going to print fine, but it's going to have issues with durability. You're going to pick up the top of this thing and it's eventually going to snap in half because your print layers are going to be going along this way. However, if you were to be able to print this flat like this, the layers will be going along this way and it'll be a heck of a lot more durable. So we're going to make it so it prints like that. So we are going to create another mesh, another cube, move that up here. And we're going to make this cube, scale it up. Let's hide the king body for a second. We're going to make this cube just slightly smaller than the base of this object, just a little bit bigger, like so. We're going to use this cube then here to cut out of the king's body. So we're going to call this the king cross cut. We'll call this the king cross. Now, if you're making this for yourself, you can localize the cross on top to whatever you feel like adding. Might be kind of fun to do something a little more not traditional than this, but that's up to you. So the king body, add a Boolean. And the Boolean, we're going to go to the king cross cut, unselect the king's cross cut so we can now see it. And there we go. Nice little hole for it to print into. So we're able to print this piece out and then print this piece out separately. And we can just slide this into place right here, maybe add a touch of glue. Although that could actually probably just friction fit in there with a little bit of sanding and it'll be nice and smooth. And there we go. Our king is done.